Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander viewers should exercise caution when watching this program, as it may contain images of deceased persons.
Carol Petterson was Noongar Elder of the Year in 2004, head of the Women's Advisory Council, and she's played a big part in settling the single Noongar claim. Auntie Carol's love and devotion to her culture, her people and her family is truly inspiring.
I call myself a social campaigner, social justice campaigner and a philanthropist. I am an Indigenous philanthropist, okay? Philanthropy is about giving to mankind. Raising a child, I learnt from my mother how to give love quite easy to the children and whatnot. But unfortunately, my first marriage was full of domestic violence. In those days, it was a norm, you know. I mean, a woman got a belting every Saturday night, but I got mine every night. But eventually I managed to get out of that through sheer determination, and I created a situation where he did desert me. He couldn't find me, so he wrote me a letter and said, "I'm leaving you, you no good mongrel," and all this sort of thing. So, wacko, that was great, you know. Because I was growing as a political woman and a political force, of course there was a lot of tall poppy syndrome attacks happening to me, and I couldn't understand it because I didn't know what tall poppy meant. Some jealous Aboriginal men didn't like what I was doing. They thought it was their job. Oh, this is a great story about a little dog who met a skink, and the skink didn't want to talk to him. I then managed to call on the support of the sisterhood, which was a wonderful, wonderful learning experience for me. I managed to be appointed to the Women's Advisory Council to the Premier. And wow, oh wow, that was a J-curve learning of understanding my own position of power. You know, I really was the ear of the Premier. I think I'm addicted to adrenaline. And all these commitments, it stimulates adrenaline. I just have these clear visions of things that need to be done, so I can't sit back. I love seeing projects done. I love seeing the benefit that comes out of it, but I never own anything. I never own it. It belongs to the people, and if the project's meant to go ahead, it'll go itself. It'll take a life and go itself. If it dies, it wasn't meant to be, but I don't own anything. I want our Noongar people looking after our monies that come through from the single, we call it the Noongar Budget Trust, okay? I want our Noongar kids there. I want our people looking after it. So what I've done is created a foundation in my name, Carol Petterson Foundation. I got my first donation today of $500 from somebody rang up and said, "Yep, I've got $500 for you," so that was quite exciting. I've gone through, the celebration, the harvest of my achievements, and this is sort of now time of reflections. And I look at the strength that I got, that I inherited from my great-grandmother or grandmother that walked from Esperance to Albany, 600 miles of loyalty. I talked to you about my Ngaju trail, that I want to breathe life once more into that walk trail that brought my grandmother from Esperance to Albany. And I just want to honour her efforts and her commitment. So where it is now, the town hall, the lower town hall, bears my name, and that is public education. People say, "Well, who's this lady?" And then they suddenly realise she's an Aboriginal lady who's a counsellor. And I ran against a white businessman and won. They've got it. I mean, they're little great-grandchildren now. And I tell them this story of how strong Granny was and how strong all this, and to justify their strength, you know. Instead of saying, "You're naughty for speaking out," no, that's how your nanny used to talk. Your nanny would want to know those things. Just reaffirming for them all the time. They have, as strong women, they've got the strength of this genes of these strong women in their background. You know? So yeah, I just see that strength coming out all the time.